we were talking about snowstorm and all that. How about the shitstorm that came from that Royal Rumble? Now look, I said it Sunday night. I'll reiterate it again. The Royal Rumble pay-per-view was good up until you got to the Royal Rumble match. And, Philly went apeshit once Daniel Bryan had got taken out of the Rumble. And yeah, look, don't get me wrong. I definitely feel in my heart of hearts that Daniel Bryan went out way too early. Was I expecting him to win? Part of me was kind of like, you know what? Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar sounds good. But man, I tell you what, Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, that sounds even better. Guy never did get a fair shot, at least not yet, to try to reclaim his championship belt. So, yeah, that got a little nice ring to it. Either way, I was going to be happy with the outcome and all that. And I must admit, when I saw Daniel Bryan come out at number 10, I said, all right, he's coming in at number 10. He's probably going to be in there for a good minute. He's probably going to be in there maybe until he gets down to the final 4, final 5. Can't help but wonder what type of role the Authority is going to play, if at all, in this Royal Rumble match. If they still got a hard on for Daniel Bryan, I'm like, okay, this should be interesting. But then, like, 4 Royal Rumble entry opponents later, Daniel Bryan gets taken out, and he gets taken out by Bray Wyatt. And I mean, it wasn't like oh man, Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, they just went into one nasty ass slugfest right there. Oh man, leave it to Bray Wyatt to get the upper hand there at the last second. Oh, look at the drastic tactics that Bray Wyatt had to go through in order to get Daniel Bryan out of there. He knew he couldn't just do it straight up mano-y-mano. He had to go with a dirty playbook there. He had to go with some dirty tactics. No, they just had Bray Wyatt just thanks for coming, come again. It was basically like that. And you're like, oh, okay, what the fuck is this? And I mean, the mood just changed drastically as a result of that. As that Philly crowd was just never able to get back into it. Now, I've watched little highlights of the Royal Rumble Sunday night after we had got off the air. I watched a little bit of it on Monday night, and I mean, you could visibly just see the momentum shift from that crowd after Daniel Bryan had got taken out, and they just really were not able to recover. I mean, you saw Dean Ambrose come out. Yeah, he got a nice little reception, because I mean, at this point, they're like, Dean, yay! And then you see Dolph Ziggler, yay! Because it's kind of like, okay, well, we don't have Daniel Bryan now, well, maybe we can try to root these guys on or whatever. But, honestly, when it got down to Big Show, Old Man Kane, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, I mean, the writing was on the wall, and I feel in my heart of hearts that the Philly fans, as well as probably hundreds to thousands of you all that's out there that watched that pay-per-view event, probably said to yourselves, you know what, WWE is now officially insulting my intelligence, because here we are in this position where it's obvious they're gonna have Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble. This is fucking bullshit. And there was probably a lot of people that felt Roman Reigns is not ready, that he can be the man in due time, but this calendar year alone, it's not his. There is a part of me that genuinely feels that you had many people that were expecting Daniel Bryan. You probably had those that were expecting Dean Ambrose. You maybe had those that were expecting Dolph Ziggler. But for the trigger to be pulled on Roman Reigns, I mean, Roman Reigns did not really get that good of a reception to no reception at all. I remember him getting a lot of boos. And I mean, it just got to the point that not even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could help him out when The Rock came in there and did their little spot. I mean, that says to me, with the placement that they had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in, that they knew that there was going to be a little bit of a backlash from the Philly crowd, but I don't really think they expected it to be at the magnitude that it was. I think for WWE personnel and upper management, that really had took them off guard, and it was definitely a sight to just behold and just scratch your head. And for some of you maybe say, damn, as a wrestling fan, I'm a little embarrassed by what I'm seeing right now. I know as a wrestling fan, I was a little bit embarrassed by what I was seeing. And just to prove a point, there is a buddy of mine named Marcus who works with me, and he's a big wrestling fan. And you know, the thing I like the most about Marcus is that he's pure and innocent. And I use those two words to describe him that way because he knows nothing about the world of podcasts. He doesn't know anything about wrestling podcasts. He doesn't know anything about live YouTube shows or Ustream shows that's talking about wrestling. He doesn't know about the dirt sheets. He doesn't know about shoot DVDs. He doesn't know about any of that stuff. That's like an entirely different world to him. He doesn't even know it exists until you bring it up. That's just the type of person that he is. I bullshit you not. This is a guy who will dedicate part of the weekend to going to the library, checking up on some wrestling footage that he missed from some shows during the week, or maybe watch over at a friend's house, and that's pretty much it. But he's that innocent. And I remember him saying to me the other day, he said, man, actually, no, it was today. He said, yeah, you know, I watched the World Heavyweight Championship match there between Cena, Seth, and Brock, and that was pretty good. I said, yeah, it was something, wasn't it? He's like, yeah, man, that thing was freaking awesome. I said, yeah, I bet it was. So let me ask you, what did you think about the Royal Rumble match? And he goes, man, I just don't understand why the fans reacted the way that they did. I mean, yeah, it did kind of suck that Daniel Bryan got taken out so early, but I just didn't understand the reaction after that. And then Roman Reigns, it's like, what's going on? Is he a bad guy now? Did I miss something? I said no, but you sure as hell would have thought he was, the way he got booed out of the damn arena. It's kind of like what I had said Sunday night. You know that Taco Bell commercial with the teenage kid? He's double parked his car and he's running into the Taco Bell thinking that he can buy his little snack food wrap in time before the police officer comes and writes him a ticket. And it got the little dumbass song, this is a song about blah 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 and Bobby Sue, oh take the money and run. After I got done watching the Royal Rumble, I just couldn't help but say to myself, this is a story about WWE and Roman Reigns, oh take the money and run. I mean, that's literally how I felt, you know, because it just felt like they screwed the fans. And I just couldn't help but say to myself, God damn, that poor kid, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, you think about his bloodline, you think about his history, you think about the fact that, and look, Marcus didn't even know this. I said, yeah, and you know, Rock and Roman Reigns are cousins. And Marcus was like, what? They're related? I said, yeah, you didn't know? He said, no, I didn't know. I said, why do you think he was out there? I thought he was just trying to do a solid. I said, no. That was a placement done on purpose. It was done on purpose to try to get Roman Reigns over. You think about the long history that his family has had with wrestling, with World Wrestling Entertainment, with World Wrestling Federation, with WWF, Worldwide Wrestling Federation. All right. I mean, the family, they go way back. And so you're saying to yourself, well, shit, one could make the argument that it's Roman Reigns' birthright. And I would say to you, yeah, it is his birthright. Is he ready? Not right now. Can he get ready in 62, 61 days? Yeah, anything's possible. And I'll actually talk a little bit more on how they can get to that point. But to see Roman Reigns boot the fuck out of that building, It was like Dave Bautista all over again when he won the Royal Rumble last year. The only difference this go round is the fact that when Dave Bautista came in and won the Royal Rumble, some could make the argument that he was probably using his position by being buddies with Triple H and saying, hey, look, man, I'm kind of like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I've done some of these movies. I got this Marvel thing going on. I'm telling you, you put me in there. You have me win the Royal Rumble. You let me win the championship belt. Because, man, I want to end my career on a good note, man. Yeah, I want to end it on a good note. Let me come in there and win the Royal Rumble and all that. The only difference is between Roman Reigns, Dave Bautista, prior to winning the Royal Rumble, he was not on the road 365 days a year. He wasn't doing all the media press. He just literally came in 3 weeks before the Royal Rumble. Hey, I'm back. I'm going to the Royal Rumble. I'm going to win. I'm going to be the champion. Yeah. 3 weeks later, he wins. And fans were like, what the fuck is this shit? Why isn't it Daniel Bryan? And there was a serious backlash as a result of that. What did WWE do? They say, shit, we got ourselves in a bad bind. I guess we do need to kind of go in the Daniel Bryan direction because this Dave Bautista shit ain't working. Whereas Roman Reigns, I mean, okay, he was out of action for like about 3 months. But, I mean, how do you go from The Shield, which was a stable that many people liked? I can't tell you how many WWE live events I went to and I see nothing but motherfuckers wearing Shield gear. I remember seeing one girl, she had a freaking Roman Reigns tattoo. She had the Seth Rollins hair. She had the little Dean Ambrose pants. I mean, she was dressed like the Shield to the full extent. I'm like, God damn. Some of us were looking at her going, that's a nutty bitch. That's what some of us had said, because we thought she was taking it a bit too extreme. But you think about all the people that was really behind the Shield, and let's just go back a bit. When you first saw the Shield, when we were first introduced to the Shield, and you internet darlings out there that know your wrestlers and all that, yeah, there were a lot of people that were like, well, shit, Dean Ambrose, he's going to be the fucking man, yeah. Roman Reigns, oh yeah, he's going to do good. Seth Rollins, unfortunately, was one of those guys that early on we said, yeah, he ain't really going nowhere. He's probably going to have to continue to do the Shield shit. So, yeah, he's probably going to get featured endeavor. And that's despite everything that he had accomplished on the free agent market as Tyler Black, right? But then once the Shield broke up and everything, you're kind of like, well, Seth Rollins is kind of coming into his own, but he'll get there in good time. Oh, Dean Ambrose. Oh, Brian Pillman 2.0, the loose cannon. Oh, Roman Reigns. Everybody was in love with Roman Reigns. Everybody was like, oh, guys were like, oh, yeah, Roman Reigns. Oh, fuck yeah, he kicks mega fucking ass. He's a man's man. Roman Reigns is all man. Fuck John Cena, yeah. Seth Rollins, he moves pretty good in the ring. He's got the in-ring ability. But now look at where we are. What's changed? Well, the fact that Roman Reigns, whatever was good about him before he went out on injury, everything was just lost afterwards. I mean, he comes back. His matches are below average. All right? His in-ring promos ain't really nothing to be all excited about because he's fucking doing nursery rhymes. You know, rhyme along with Roman Reigns, and he's freaking referencing fucking cartoons, Looney Tunes, and fucking Superman. I mean, we're in 2015, and you got a motherfucker saying, I'm faster than a speeding bullet. I'm more powerful than a locomotive. I can leap over tall buildings in one bound. It's like, who the fuck is writing this shit? You know, it's like who's writing this? We have been dying for the day that we can finally, as wrestling fans, get away from the John Cena hustle, loyalty, respect, fake me out Marine saluting. Hey, you got a sick kid or a disabled kid over there? Hey, let me take a photo op and let me do this because WWE cares. And you shouldn't be a bully because you should really be a star, and do what you can to read a lot of books because reading is fundamental. Not to mention, we'll give you a travel prize package to this year's WrestleMania. So go out there, and hey, how's your mom doing? Does she have breast cancer by any chance? Because if she does, WWE cares, and we want to do what we can to raise enough money to help spread breast cancer awareness. Oh yeah, I'm hitting all the points tonight, ain't I? You know, we're trying to get away from all that. And at one point, Roman Reigns kind of embodied that next evolution for the WWE. And I think just with everything that's been going on with the WWE as of late, but you can trace all this shit back to really when the Attitude Era had ended. This has been a shitstorm brewing for a long time, for many, many years now. Last year was something, but this year fans frustrated at the creative direction, position that WWE is taking with some of these key stars. And honestly, with what I saw from Philly and what I've seen on social media all the way up until now, fans just basically said, we're tired. WWE, we're tired. We're tired of being faithful to you all, and you just continue to insult our intelligence with poor, crappy ass storylines, crappy ass finishes. You're shoving people down our throats that don't even deserve the position that they're in just yet. We're tired, WWE. We're tired. We're tired. And that's exactly what happened. They've been tired for a lot of years now. I mean, just go back. You don't believe me? Do your own homework, especially if you're a wrestling historian. Just go back. It's been a slow burn for a lot of years, and it can be traced back to the days after Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, Mick Foley, Brock Lesnar, Edge and Christian, Team 3D. What do all those people have in mind? What do all those people have in common? The Attitude Era. Why do you think fans have been going apeshit for Brock Lesnar every single time he pops up? It's because he represents an era of WWE that's long gone. He's like that last piece of nostalgia to what WWE once was. And that's why so many people have been getting behind him, because they know what he represents. They know that with Brock Lesnar, look at the way he's been described. He's the beast. He's the beast incarnate. He's the destroyer. He's a prize fighter. This is a guy that when you just open up the dictionary and you look at a wrestler, or you just look at a man's man. And some people try to be cute. They say, what's a man's man? I don't understand that term. Go do some research, all right? But you look it up. Brock Lesnar embodies all that. Here is a guy that before he went into the WWE, he was a damn good amateur wrestler to WWE. Then said, you know what? I'm going to go try my hand in professional football. Didn't play for an indoor league off the break. No, he actually had got signed to the Minnesota Vikings. He didn't last that long. Matter of fact, he didn't even make it to the regular season. He got cut during the preseason, if I'm not mistaken. But from there, he tried to do a little bit of indoor football or arena football. Went overseas, did some work with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Then he went into MMA, did some stuff with UFC World Heavyweight Champion to his credit. I mean, that's a man's man right there. So you just think about that long track record that he has, and you see him back in the WWE. What do you think is going to happen? Those MMA fans, those football fans, all the people that remember him, that following, they're going to come. The fans that once used to check out the Attitude Era, they're going to be like, Brock Lesnar's back? Oh, man, let's go. And I mean, for a lot of us, Brock Lesnar was like that one saving grace of what could be just a crappy ass episode of WWE Raw or SmackDown. And now look at where we are right now. We got Brock Lesnar, who's possibly going to be tying things up with the WWE to possibly go back into MMA. You can't help but say to yourself, my God, just what exactly the position WWE is going to be in once Lesnar is gone. Because now you're not going to have the whole prize fighter thing going down. And, you know, I think for fans that, okay, all right, we get it. Because they're a savvy bunch now. They feel that because they read the dirt sheets and all that, they know a lot on what's going on behind the scenes, when really they may only have a fraction of it. They see what's going on with Roman Reigns and all that. And look, I'm with you all. Make no mistake about it. I'm with you all. I agree 100% that Roman Reigns is not ready. Can he get ready in time for WrestleMania? I said it Sunday night. I'll say it again. These next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be very critical for Roman, because if he shows that he cannot handle the load, WWE is going to have to go back to the drawing board, and they're going to have to come up with a way that they can get this guy over. And at this point, based on key events that went down at the Royal Rumble, the writing is very easy for WWE as far as what steps they need to take next. Such as when you go back and you watch that triple threat match, John Cena, he was getting booed big time. Go to Seth Rollins. Watch that match again now that I'm saying this. Seth Rollins was actually cheered for a majority of that match. And I mean, he was doing Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels shit. Elbows from the top turnbuckle to Brock Lesnar, who was propped up over the announcer's table, doing the damn curb stomps. There was a nice little 450 splash he tried to do to John Cena. Brock Lesnar looking like the underdog, looking like he was possibly going to be losing his championship belt. What happens? Brock Lesnar comes in. I mean, Brock Lesnar was getting cheers. Motherfucker was doing German suplexes for a majority of the match if he wasn't getting his ass handed to him by both of those guys. But he was getting cheered every single time he came back on the offense. If Brock Lesnar is going to be wrapping things up with the WWE, the fans have been cheering for Brock Lesnar for the longest time. They want to get behind this guy. And based on some of the things that he's been doing within recent weeks, I know Titus said it, I definitely will jump out there and say it. If Brock Lesnar was doing the type of stuff that he is doing right now, but he was doing it on a more consistent basis, yeah, and you're talking to somebody that is a huge Brock Lesnar fan, I definitely would have no problem with his championship run. But I tell you what, based on everything that's going on right now, if Lesnar is going to be leaving the WWE, Paul Heyman is going to continue to have some type of an involvement with the WWE. I'm sure you've heard other people say this. Me, this is just my own free will of thinking after I saw the events that had played out Sunday night. But I feel Paul Heyman is ultimately going to have to turn on Brock Lesnar. Think about some of the what's the right word I'm looking for? Think about some of the encounters that Paul Heyman has had with Seth Rollins. He's tried to put him over and all that. You know, it's kind of like, hey, you're supposed to be representing Brock Lesnar to the fullest extent. What you doing going by over there, Paul? What the fuck, man? You know, so you look at that. You look at the poor situation that Roman Reigns is in. I think Roman Reigns would benefit very well from Paul Heyman as a mouthpiece, because the guy can't really talk worth a damn right now anyway. He needs a really good mouthpiece right now. And WWE needs to capitalize on the reaction that he's getting. I don't think this is going to go away from Roman Reigns, unfortunately, and WWE needs to capitalize on it somewhat in the same fashion. And I know you all have been hearing this a lot, but it's the goddamn truth, especially if you know your wrestling history. Look at what happened when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made his debut as Rocky Maivia at the Royal Rumble. Die, Rocky, die chants that guy was getting. Father is Rocky Johnson. They didn't give a fuck about all that. They don't give a fuck about his family history. They booed that man out that damn arena. And then what happened? Rock luckily went out on injury. Jim Ross pitched to him the whole, hey, why don't you join this stable, the Nation of Domination, and you can let loose a little bit. You can go heel. At first, he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to be associated with an all-black stable. He felt it was a little bit stereotypical. But the more and more Jim Ross had sold it to him and told him about, hey, look, I know a great way you can revamp your character. I've been watching this football player, Deion Sanders, and when he talks about himself, he says, well, Deion Sanders is going to go out there and get 3 touchdowns tonight, baby. Deion Sanders going to run for 300 yards, baby. Deion Sanders is prime time. When he pitched it to him, Dwayne Johnson came around and he said, okay, you know what? That sounds good. Let's do it. And the rest is history. Nation of Domination was supposed to be Farouk's stable. Farouk was supposed to be the fucking leader. But my, how that turned around in just a matter of weeks, as eventually Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would take it over. So, I mean, Roman Reigns, you just look at the history that's there. I mean, he is identical to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Both of these guys started off in a heel stable. Then they broke away to try to achieve a great acclaim as a solo performer. But with The Rock, it wouldn't be accomplished unless he went heel, unless he aligned himself with some key stars. It damn sure helped him getting a little bit of a rub off from Vince McMahon. Roman Reigns, I don't know. I think he's going to have to pair up with Paul Heyman or the Authority. I mean, you got a nice little backstory right there with the Authority. The Authority, they basically could say to Seth Rollins, fuck you. You didn't get the job done Sunday night. You know, you and your plan B, you can shove it. You got your briefcase. We don't give a damn. They could kick him to the curb very easily. It could very well happen. Anything can happen, but I mean, you got some options right there. But I love the idea of Roman Reigns going heel, joining Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman takes him to the championship belt. Then you have Roman Reigns, I think the word is crested or bestowed, a Paul Heyman guy.